Hello and welcome back to Picture Perfect Greek. And today we have a video and an article on reflecting on meaning. How do you talk about meaning in Greek? Telling a story about what happened is of course one thing, but explaining what it meant to you, that's the other thing, and this is more difficult, right, in a foreign language. So this is what we will be looking at today. So whether you're writing a journal entry or talking to a friend, it's always an additional step to move from a narration of what happened to exploring the meaning of it. And so in the following we will see a few expressions you can use, and I will give them to you with a translation and an example in the context. And you can find all these expressions in the Holiday Greek Substack, written down in a nice list with all the texts and all the examples. You can go there, the address is here, and read them. So let's go first some core expressions for everyday reflections. Αυτό με έκανε να συνειδητοποιήσω ότι. Now this is a very difficult word, right? Συνειδητοποιήσω. This made me realize that. Συνειδητοποιώ means to realize. So for example, αυτό με έκανε να συνειδητοποιήσω ότι δεν χρειάζεται να είσαι τέλειος για να σε δεχτούν. This made me realize that you don't have to be perfect in order to be accepted. Ήταν η πρώτη φορά που ένιωσα ότι. This is used to mark a turning point. It's the first time that you felt something that you have never felt before or that you have never realized before. For example, ήταν η πρώτη φορά που ένιωσα ότι πραγματικά ανήκω σε μια ομάδα. It's the first time I realized that I really belong to a group, to a team, perhaps a sports team. Κουβαλάω αυτή τη στιγμή μέσα μου μέχρι σήμερα. Κουβαλάω means to carry. I'm carrying αυτή τη στιγμή, this moment, μέσα μου, inside me, until today. So that's usually the end of a reflection, right? You would think about something, explain, tell a story, and then say, I'm still carrying this moment with me until today. Example, κουβαλάω αυτή τη στιγμή μέσα μου μέχρι σήμερα. Ήταν τόσο απλή, αλλά και τόσο σημαντική. It was so easy, but also so important. Now we come to a little more difficult grammatically expression. Αν δεν είχε γίνει αυτό, δεν θα ήμουν ο ίδιος or η ίδια σήμερα. Αν δεν είχε γίνει αυτό, if this had not happened, right? So this is a past conditional expression. If this had not happened, δεν θα ήμουν ο ίδιος. I would not be the same today. And this is interesting because of the grammar, of course, a conditional structure that shows that some experience was formative. For example, αν δεν είχε γίνει αυτό, δεν θα ήμουν ο ίδιος σήμερα. Μου έδωσε θάρρος που δεν ήξερα ότι είχα. It gave me courage that I didn't know I had. Αυτή η ανάμνηση έχει ιδιαίτερη θέση στη ζωή μου. This memory has a particular place in my life. Anamnesi is the memory, mnimi is the memory, and anamnesi is again, memory again, is the recalling of a memory. It works both at the beginning and at the end of a reflection. For example, αυτή η ανάμνηση έχει ιδιαίτερη θέση στη ζωή μου, ίσως γιατί ήταν η πρώτη φορά που ένιωσα ότι μεγάλωσα. Perhaps it was the first time that I felt that I was growing up. Τώρα που το σκέφτομαι βλέπω ότι. Now that I think of it, I see that. And then you say what you see. Τώρα που το σκέφτομαι, now that I think of it, βλέπω, I see that, ότι. Τώρα που το σκέφτομαι βλέπω ότι εκείνη τη μέρα πήρα τη σωστή απόφαση παρόλο που δεν το ήξερα τότε. Τώρα που το σκέφτομαι, now that I think of it, βλέπω, I see, ότι εκείνη την ημέρα, that day, πήρα τη σωστή απόφαση. I took the right decision. Παρόλο, although, παρόλο means although, που δεν το ήξερα τότε. I did not know that then, τότε. Με αυτόν τον τρόπο κατάλαβα τι σημαίνει. Another interesting expression to connect a particular experience with some broader human insight. You realized in this way what this means. Με αυτόν τον τρόπο, with this way, κατάλαβα τι σημαίνει, I understood what it means, πραγματικά να εμπιστεύεσαι, really, πραγματικά, to trust, to really trust κάποιον, somebody, χωρίς εγγυήσεις, without guarantees. Δεν αλλάζω αυτή την εμπειρία με τίποτα. I don't change, δεν αλλάζω αυτή την εμπειρία. This experience, εμπειρία is the experience, με τίποτα, for nothing. So I don't want to give it up for anything. For example, ήταν δύσκολο, it was hard, ήταν επώδυνο, it was painful. Αλλά δεν αλλάζω, but I don't change, αυτή την εμπειρία, this experience, με τίποτα, with anything. Με έκανε αυτό που είμαι. It made me what I am now. Now we have some more advanced expressions for higher B2 level. Some of these were already a little bit advanced, but now we come to even a little more complicated ones. Εκ των υστέρων καταλαβαίνω ότι. Εκ των υστέρων means, this is ancient Greek essentially, right? It's not modern Greek, but it's a fixed expression that's used like this. Εκ των υστέρων. Looking back, it means looking back. From later. Εκ των υστέρων. Υστέρων means later. From later, looking back. Καταλαβαίνω ότι. I understand that. So this is a reflection, right? You're looking back, you realize something that at that moment when it happened you did not perhaps realize. Εκ των υστέρων καταλαβαίνω ότι εκείνη η αποτυχία ήταν απαραίτητη. That this failure was necessary. Χωρίς αυτήν δεν θα είχα αλλάξει πορεία. Without this I would not have changed my direction, the direction I was going in. Αυτή η εμπειρία, this experience, μου αποκάλυψε μια πλευρά του εαυτού μου, αποκάλυψε. It revealed to me μια πλευρά του εαυτού μου, a side of me, που δεν ήξερα ότι υπήρχε, that I didn't know existed. So this is both grammatically a little complex because it's in the past, and also the words, of course. Αποκάλυψε, it revealed, αποκαλύπτω, καλύπτω means to cover, αποκαλύπτω, to uncover, to reveal. Μια πλευρά, one side, του εαυτού μου, of myself, που δεν ήξερα, that I didn't know, ότι υπήρχε, that it existed. So, for example, αυτή η εμπειρία μου αποκάλυψε, this experience showed me, μια πλευρά του εαυτού μου, a side of me, που δεν ήξερα ότι υπήρχε, that I didn't know existed, μια αντοχή, μια υπομονή, resilience, a patience, που ποτέ πριν δεν την είχα χρειαστεί, that never before I had used, or I had needed, είχα χρειαστεί, I had needed. Δεν ήταν τόσο αυτό που έγινε, όσο ο τρόπος που με επηρέασε. So here you direct your narrative from the plot, from what happened to the meaning of it. You are saying, δεν ήταν, it was not, τόσο, so much, αυτό που έγινε, what happened. So the important thing was not so much what happened, όσο, as much, ο τρόπος, the way, που με επηρέασε, that it affected me. So the important thing was not so much what happened, but the way it affected me. Next one. Μόνο αφού πέρασε καιρός, μπόρεσα να καταλάβω τι σήμαινε πραγματικά. A more complex grammatical structure that shows some maturity you have after some time reflected back and realized something. Μόνο, only, αφού, after. Αφού means after. Πέρασε καιρός, time passed, περνάω is to pass, καιρός is the time. Μπόρεσα να καταλάβω, I could understand. Μπορώ means can, καταλάβω, understand. Τι σήμαινε, what it meant πραγματικά, really, what it really meant. Only after the passing of time I could understand what this really meant. For example, μόνο αφού πέρασε καιρός, only after time passed, μπόρεσα να καταλάβω, could I understand, τι σήμαινε πραγματικά αυτή η σιωπή. What this silence, αυτή η σιωπή, σήμαινε πραγματικά. What it really meant. Δεν ήταν αδιαφορία, ήταν σεβασμός. It was not indifference, it was respect. So whatever, you have to construct the case around it, right? Αυτό που κρατάω από εκείνη την περίοδο είναι. What I am holding on from this period is. Αυτό που κρατάω, what I'm holding on to από εκείνη την περίοδο, from that period, is. Okay, so an example of this. Αυτό που κρατάω από εκείνη την περίοδο, what I am still holding on from that period, είναι η αίσθηση, is the feeling, ότι μπορώ να τα καταφέρω, that I can manage, I can succeed, ακόμα και όταν όλα πηγαίνουν στραβά. Even if everything πηγαίνουν στραβά. They go bad, they go... stravon means to not go in a straight line, but to be crooked. So if everything goes crooked, if everything goes into bad directions, if everything, falls apart, you would say in English. Next one. Ίσως αυτό που με σημάδεψε περισσότερο. Ίσως, perhaps, αυτό που με σημάδεψε. That which marked me. Σημάδι is the mark. Σημαδεύω means to mark someone or to mark something. Περισσότερο, most. Δεν ήταν το γεγονός αυτό καθ' αυτό. Was not the event itself. Αυτό καθ' αυτό is a very important expression for advanced Greek. It means the thing itself, the event itself. Not, something about the event, but the event itself. Αυτό καθ' αυτό. This thing itself. Αλλά η συναισθηματική του βαρύτητα. But it's emotional, συναισθηματικό, means emotional. Συναίσθημα is the emotion. Συναισθηματική του βαρύτητα. Varos is of course the weight. Βαρύτητα is weightness, right, you would say. So, ίσως αυτό, perhaps what, που με σημάδευσε, that which marked me most, περισσότερο, was not the event itself, όχι το γεγονός αυτό καθ' αυτό, αλλά η συναισθηματική του βαρύτητα, but its emotional weight. And as an example, ίσως αυτό που με σημάδεψε περισσότερο δεν ήταν το γεγονός αυτό καθ' αυτό, αλλά η συναισθηματική του βαρύτητα, what we just said, δεν ήταν κάτι δραματικό, αλλά με άγγιξε βαθιά. It was not something dramatic, but it touched me. Με άγγιξε. Αγγίζω means to touch. Βαθιά, deeply. Με άγγιξε βαθιά. Okay, so when you use them, it's important. These are pretty heavy expressions, right? Like you see also in the English translations. So normally don't overdo it, right? Don't stack them and create something that's too, kitschy, too overloaded with emotion. Use them sparingly, give them some space to breathe. And you can try them out in the comments. Tell me which one you liked, and perhaps as a little exercise, use them in the comments. Write a comment about something that has been an emotional insight or something that has touched you. And I mean, of course, it can be fictional. We don't need to really give confessions about our lives in a YouTube comment, but make a fictional sentence that you can put in there so that you practice using these. And I will answer, I will look at it, I will tell you if it's correct or if you can use it in this way. So use the comments as a kind of feedback mechanism. This is always a good idea. Then you get a bit of instruction for free. Okay, thank you. And I will see you again in the next video. If you want to see all these things written down, go to my Substack. The address is here, and download the printed sheet, or for your phone, the electronic text for your phone, so that you can have all these things in writing. Thank you and goodbye.